Okay, hold on. Give me hints. Give me hints on Big Bertha. Give me a
Take
type.
a guess.
Give
The
me a
name.
type.
Nope. The name is Big Bertha. Just shoot in the dark of what you think it is.
Rhyperior.
No.
That's why I need a type. Give me a type.
Big Bertha.
Joe, I need
The
a
name has
type.
something to do with the size, bud. Think about it.
Snorlax? I don't know. There's a lot of gigantic Pokemon.
Good job, buddy. You got it. Snorlax.
Hola, everybody. Thank you for joining us on another steaming hot edition of Cup of Joe's. I'm your host, Joe Brown, joined by my best friend, Joe Perrion. And I said hola because we are going to Spain, Joe. This is a special emergency podcast recording you and I are having to talk about Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. Joe, my friend, hola.
¿Cómo está?
¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
So you're just going to completely ignore my question that I asked you.
Bien y tú?
There you go. You illiterate man.
Hey, man. Hey, we've talked. I mean, I don't know if you remember, but we've talked about when I took Spanish in college. It didn't go so well. I got an A- in the class, but didn't go so well. I didn't retain a lot. The only thing I retained. Okay, let's talk about this. So, the only things I remember is that there's different words for different distances.
What are you talking about?
So here, there, and over there is the one thing me and Dave Puglisi, friend, Dave, we took Spanish together, and so you can't see me, but like the lady would point and she'd be like aquí, allí, and allá, and she would like chuck her hand like towards the back of the wall in the classroom to show that it was different for here, there, and over there. It's like the distances. So Dave and I would just like say that to each other all the time. That's the only thing I remember from an entire semester of Spanish.
God, you're just an amazing man of culture, aren't you, Mr. Brown?
Well, I might have to learn Spanish. Maybe we play Scarlet and Violet
you
in
won't.
Spanish.
You will still not retain anything. You will have no idea what's going on.
Experience El Pikachu, you know?
Oh, Pikachu.
That's in Spanish, right?
Maybe. I don't know. You have to look.
Okay, so anyway, we are here. Yes, this is also, I'm finally back home. I was gone for a month. I was living in Connecticut working for the Olympics, and now I'm back home working for nobody. Working to catch all the Pokemon in Arceus is the plan.
No, you're not.
It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while, okay? Listen, I saw a oh my god, was it Rampardos? Can't remember. And he's in the distortion thing, and I'm like, I just want to catch him, man. I got this Electivire and Magmortar, and like Dustin, they're all chasing me, trying to murder me. I just want to catch this one Pokemon I don't have, okay? And I just keep getting murdered. And then now my Pokemon are too high level to catch him. He was like level 40.
Which Pokemon was it?
Rampardos.
Pardos.
He's a rock.
I'm gonna look if I got that boy.
You're gonna need to trade me a lot of Pokemon, Joe. Not just Rampardos.
I've got one of them because I just evolved him from his smaller form.
Yeah, Cranidos, yeah.
Yeah, I had him.
Okay, so basically all we're talking about in this episode is just the Pokemon Presents that happened earlier today. And do you want to talk about the other stuff? Because you watched the whole presentation, right, Joe? You didn't just watch Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah, I watched the whole thing. I wasn't a big fan of all the other stuff. I wasn't planning on doing. I didn't really pay attention to all that stuff. Since you texted me about how your hype was real and that you had deceased death, and I was like, okay, well, I don't really know what that means.
I don't know what I was saying to you earlier today. Okay, it was I was in a state of euphoria that I can't even describe.
I had figured that they had announced a new Pokemon game, so I was like, well, here we go, Pokemon it is. And I was kind of excited because I was hoping that they would use what they used in the Legends game that just recently came out about how catching them and seeing them and all that other stuff. And it looks from what they showed that they're gonna do that. So I was excited about it.
Right. It definitely seems like the baby of Sword and Shield and Legends Arceus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what people wanted. Like people wanted them to improve on Sword and Shield, and that always happens with our with Pokemon games. The second version on a console or on a system is always like very much improved upon. Like people showed graphics between X and Y and Sun and Moon. Now they're showing Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet like back to back, showing like how much the Pokemon team has actually, or Game Freak has improved the. I don't know if it's improved or gotten better at their their systems, and I don't know what the game is running on, if it's like a regular Unity or whatever, or if it's like an in-house Game Freak system. I have no idea. But like you can definitely tell that this game is even from Legends is upgraded visually.
Yeah, definitely.
Now,
would
ahead,
you
Joe.
say? I was gonna say, I forgot what I was gonna say now. Never mind. I lost it. Continue.
Oh my God, Joe, we can't have this. We can't have you losing it right here.
Oh, I lost it. I was gonna say something, and then you cut in. I can't think of it now.
I'm sorry. I was just thinking about the Pittsburgh lady again. Oh my God, it's so good. We're not gonna get. Oh my God.
I remember what I was gonna say.
I saw it on Discord. I just started giggling to myself again.
Oh my gosh. Good golly gosh. Do you think I was a little bummed when I was watching it though, because I was really hoping to see some of the new Pokemon that might be in it, but they just kind of showed all the Pokemon that we've already seen, plus they showed the starters.
Right.
But like,
well, this is pretty par for the course when it comes to Pokemon games. So they essentially, it's February, right? It's Pokemon Day. Happy Pokemon Day to those who to those who celebrate. So we're in February. The game is going to come out end of 2022. It's usually November at this point, so sometime in the middle of November, before Black Friday, so they can get all those sales. So they have, what is that, 11 to 9 months essentially. They have a 9-month hype cycle. And this is usually what they do. They start when X and Y, they just showed the 3 starters. With Sun and Moon, they just showed the starters. Like, this is kind of how they do their marketing on the Pokemon end. So that's why I'm not disappointed that they didn't show off any more Pokemon, because like they literally over the next 9 months will show off a whole bunch of different Pokemon.
Oh, okay.
They kind of drip feed it to you on purpose.
Got it. Okay. They're like, ooh, look at this. And you're like, ooh, I want it. And they're like, just gotta wait. And you're like, no.
Okay, so let's, actually get into the Pokemon discussion, since that's what, that's the only Pokemon we can go off of at this point. So, why am I blanking on I know Fuecoco because he's my best friend. No offense, Joe.
Okay, so they did also release the names. I didn't see the names of them. I just saw the picture.
Okay, yeah. Look, why am I blanking? I literally had this up.
Okay, you sent me 2 of them.
I sent 2.
Fuecoco, and we have water type Pokemon.
Yeah, it doesn't say it there. Okay, hold on. Let me Google it. Scarlet, Violet, Stars. I really thought I had this up, so I apologize that I did not have their 3 names up here. Going on. Nope. Jesus. Starters, names. Okay, we're ready. So, it is the grass type Sprigatito, fire type Fuecoco, and water type Quaxley.
Love it.
Okay, so what are your first initial thoughts when you see these three starters?
I liked them, and I was really interested in the cat and the duck. I'm not really a fire type starter.
Hurtful, but okay.
Why is that hurtful? We're allowed to have different opinions.
Because I'm a fire type loyalist, Joe.
Okay, that's great, but me having a different opinion does not diminish your opinion.
It is an affront on myself, on my being, to dislike Fuecoco. That's what I'm saying.
Not disliking him. I like him, but he's not my preferred starter. So don't argue with me. Like, it's fine.
Okay.
But he looks very cool. I'm very excited to see when they slowly start releasing what their evolutions will possibly be. And I don't know. I really like the duck, but I really like the cat. And I'm just up in the air, really up in the air about it.
I mean, you do have 9 months to choose, but the first thing I thought was we don't want another Sobble situation on our hands because.
Why? What was from Sobble? He was great.
Oh, okay, yeah, Sobble was great. You wanna go down the evolutionary line?
I loved his evolutionary line. They were amazing.
Well, the general consensus does not feel the same way about that. Okay. So,
well, they could suck it. This is Joe Perrin's opinion. I thought it was great. I loved that sad little lizard became a sad little emo boy, and then he became a man with a gun. I loved it. Like, get out of here.
All right, I'm happy. I'm happy for you.
Why are you so upset about it?
I'm just saying. At first glance, all three of these starters are adorable, and we're all like, all right, yes, they're all great, and it's always funny how people choose their starters off of the first evolution, but in reality, you spend most of your time with the final evolution. You know what I mean? So, yeah. It's like, kind of like we all kind of lock into our camps right away when they get revealed of who our starter is, and then you kind of just have to stick with it if it doesn't turn out great for you. But I do agree that all three of them are very adorable. I like them all. They're obviously, I'm fire type loyalist, so Fuecoco has my heart, but Quaxley, he's just doing his thing. He's adorable. Like, look at his hat. He's got like his feather, his like hair feather underneath his cap, but it's still like sticking out, pointing out, like, just adorable.
Yeah, he's here for it. He's like ready to party, and I'm about it. You know what I mean?
Right. So I do have on this Twitter, I think I sent you a couple of the things, so if we just like run through this, like so obviously it's based off of Spain and potentially Portugal because there's a map in that video shown on the wall of Spain, so that's what we know. And then obviously these Pokemon have like Spanish sounding names and whatnot, so the potential Pokemon League could be inspired by Sagrada Familia from Barcelona, Spain. They show this is all on Sinnoh Blink Post Twitter account, which is a big Pokemon account, big meme account, that has all, like, they're like posting a whole bunch of information. And I think the person who operates this Twitter account is also Spanish, so that's why they're like so excited about this. Now this one's interesting. Let me copy paste it just so you can see, Joe. Okay. So the colors of the game names are from the flag of the Second Spanish Republic: purple from Castile and Leon, and red from Aragon. And so it shows
that's really cool.
Right. So on top of being the other part, which we'll talk about, this is also, representative of Spain and the flag. And now people are speculating that the yellow portion of that flag would be the third legendary, because there's always a third legendary. It's always a trio. So we assume that the two legends, or the box arts, are going to be red or scarlet and violet, and then the third legend will be yellow. So then they posted one where Fuecoco looks like an Among Us character, and so let's start with it. Fuecoco have no direct origin in Spain or Portugal, but it could be a reference of the importation of animals and fruits from America and Europe by the Spanish during the 16th and 1700s. So they show, I think I sent you that one in this, yeah, I did. Okay, so the name alligator is probably an anglicized form of El Lagarto, the Spanish term for the lizard, which early Spanish explorers and settlers in Florida called the alligator. Later English spellings of the name included Aligarta and Aligarto. So that's, at first, I like, obviously his name's Flay Coco, but I didn't even think that he is coconut related, like visually. Like, obviously the name is. So now I'm wondering, like, is he gonna look like a big coconut or something? Like, what is his typing gonna be? I'm very excited about this.
Wouldn't it be interesting if he was like fire grass? Wouldn't that be kind of an interesting?
I would love it.
Like,
We've never had a firegrass Pokemon. I would love it.
That'd be pretty cool. And like, of course, what's the duck's name again?
Quaxley. Or Donald
Quaxley's,
Duck, if you prefer.
Yeah, Quaxley's gonna be water flying for sure.
Yeah, I think there's no other choice if he's that. Which is funny because they show off Pelipper in the trailer at one point. You see a Pelipper who's also water flying, and then there's also Swanna from Gen 5 is a water flying Pokemon too. So Mantine, like there's a lot of water flying Pokemon already that are just like, I'm just dead if I get hit by an electric attack. And I don't know. I think it's interesting that they are potentially going to give him water flying. The only thing I can see so we can talk about his inspiration. So Quaxley seems to be inspired by the Spanish marine marin during the discovery of the 15th, 1600s, and his hat looks like Christopher Columbus. So I sent you that one too.
Yeah, I saw that.
I can definitely see the comparison, and so I think he looks adorable, and I do wonder if he's not water flying, because we all think he will be. Because if he is like some boat Pokemon, maybe he's not flying, right? Because he's on the water. Like, what type could he be?
Ooh.
Because we just had...
Could it be water ground?
That's another one that we have a lot of Pokemon of already. We have a lot of Gastrodon, Seismitoad, like Swampert. Swampert was already a starter that was water ground.
What about water grass? Do we have a lot of those?
No, only a couple, I believe. We have Ludicolo, who's one of my favorite Pokemon, so... But I don't think, so far, no starter has ever had one of the other starter types. It just seems like a rule that that Pokemon has made. So that's why we won't get Fire Grass or Water Grass or Grass, what else. Because they seem to not, they don't want to mess up that type chart balance a lot. Because if you're Water Grass, right, then you're not weak to grass anymore. You're neutral, because grass is just grass. So how is the grass cat supposed to beat Quaxley? That's why they do it, yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I was gonna bring up the point of what's his name? Wow, that one. Hold on, I was just looking at him. Where is he? Whiscash.
Whiscash, yeah, he's water ground too, right?
He's water ground, but he also knows electric moves. So he can't have electric moves be used against him, but he can just throw them out, which is pretty incredible. But yeah, I don't know. Like, well, I guess you're right. It would be hard to do that if you didn't have...
in that case, yeah, he's not weak to electric, but he's 4 times weak to grass, which is how they view the type chart. They view grass as beating water, you know what I mean, in the circles.
Yeah.
So, we can theorize forever. I've had conversations where we try to figure out type charts or type matchups that everybody beats each other one way and then inversely is weak to the other. So, like, for example, in Gen 6, right, with Greninja, why am I blanking out Fennekin's last evolution, and what I'm blanking on their names right now. So Greninja was water dark, and then the fire type was fire psychic, and then the grass type was grass fighting. So that way water dark beat both fire and psychic, and then fire and psychic beat both grass and fighting, and grass and fighting beat both water and dark. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
So I would like them to do a generation like the other way around, where all three hit each other both ways. That would be
Interesting.
cool, because then there really is no advantage or disadvantage to who you choose.
Having, yeah, like having one over the other. Like you just, it would just be like a like fair pick all around. It wouldn't really matter.
Right.
It would just be a preference at that point.
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember what it was. I can't remember what a while ago. It was like fire, electric would still be weak to water, but then the electric still hits it back with it. And then what was grass? I can't remember. We'll whatever. We'll think about that another time. And we have a lot of time to figure out what these guys' final evolutions are. I do think Fuecoco has a big chance of being fire rock or fire ground at the end of it when he's fully evolved. Just because he's a big boy, and alligators are like on the ground and stuff, like crocodile and whatnot, right? So
Yeah.
So now is the cat. So there's two things here. I didn't send you this one, so I'll just read it from their Twitter. So Sprigatito also could be inspired by Iberian lynx, a species of carnivorous mammal endemic to the Iberian Peninsula, internationally known for its recovery after being critically endangered at the beginning of the 21st century. And then there's this other one about some flower that it could be inspired by the Egus Kilore flower. Sorry if I said that wrong. This is the representation of the sun in the mythology from the Basque country, Spain. This flower has been created by Amalur, the sun god of this mythology. So maybe here I'll send you this right now, so you can look at it. So maybe the cat. We can talk about his final, line. Like maybe Sprigatito can end up with some sunlight related thing. Like maybe be like grass electric or something like that.
But then it would really be doubling down on water.
Right. Well, that's good. And then if it's fire ground, then fire ground beats both. Or the actually, am I wrong about that? No, hold on. I think I'm right, but I could be wrong on that.
Grass is really good against ground, I thought.
Right, but that would just be neutral because he's a fire type.
Oh. But then it wouldn't fit what you were trying to say, where they would all three hit each other.
Yeah, it would be more in the Gen 6 way, more in the XY way, where
could it be
doubly hits it.
Man, what could it be? I was gonna say bug, but unless they come out with a new type.
No, I don't think it's a bug because it's based off of a lynx. I don't think it's not really a bug.
I was gonna think it would be ground, like how Meowth is ground, but I don't know.
Okay, hold on 1 second as I look it up to make sure I am not crazy. So ground is resisted onto just grass. So the electric so fire ground, the ground would just be neutral. He'd still be weak to fire, but which could still happen, right? Because then you'd still just hit the cat with the fire move instead of the ground move. But
yeah.
What was the other one on this Twitter I wanted to show you? I feel like okay. No. Okay, so the other, if you scroll up more in our Discord, you'll see the tweet from Billa about the generation mechanic. Do you see that one?
Yeah.
Okay, so Billa brings up a good point where every generation, the English box art and the logo and the name is different than Japanese. And in English, it just says Sword and Shield, Sun and Moon, whatever. But in Japanese, it'll say X and Y or Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, and the game mechanic will be in the logo. So if you look at it for X and Y, it has the Mega Evolution icon in the logo. Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire has the red orb and blue orb. Sun and Moon has the Z crystals in the logo. So you see that there is that I see kind of prismatic 6-sided star looking thing in the Japanese logo for Scarlet and Violet. So let's hypothesize, Joe. What could that mean?
Well, it's gonna be something completely different from anything we've seen before, right? Like, could we go off of that? Like, it's gonna be a completely new thing.
I would assume it's going to be a new mechanic because every generation they have a new mechanic.
Okay, I'm
including
just trying to
Dynamax from Sword and Shield.
max. That's what it was in Sword and Shield. Okay, so what could this one be? So all the Pokemon got real big in the last one. Could the Pokemon be getting real small in this one?
Ooh, great point.
But like, I don't know what
No,
advantage
I
that
don't think so.
has.
No, exactly. That's the thing. It has to be a battle mechanic. You can't just be like, oh, it turns your Pokemon pink or something like that. Like it has to actually be a battle mechanic for a button you have to press to use in battles. And that's why it's tough because like even when we were waiting for Sword and Shield, a lot of people are like, all right, you had the Megas, then you had Z moves, like what do you do? What can you like what else, what other held item can you give people to Pokemon to make them stronger? And at the time we didn't think they would ever touch HP because all the Mega evolutions, like all 50 Megas, they don't alter HP because it's such a huge stat, it's such an integral stat. So
Yeah.
when they made Dynamax and it doubles your HP, everyone was shocked because we thought that was like the cardinal rule, like you can mess with any stat you want but you don't touch HP. So now all in our predictions here, all of the rules are out the window. This could like literally be anything.
Yeah, well, like I don't. You know a lot more of this stuff than I do, so like I can't really. Like, part of me wants to just say that it'll be something to do with size, but after I have a feeling that like, maybe there's something hidden in Arceus that we can base it off of, like like if there like something in Arceus that we like come in contact with that'll happen. Like, oh, what would the maybe it's the thing that happens near like here's some spoilers at the end of the game. The when you're fighting the Pearl legendary, he turns into a different form, like a centaur-like creature.
Well, that's funny because that was Palkia. When I played, Dialga turned into the other form, and I fought Palkia first, and it stayed normal. So it must be who you chose. Who did you choose to go on your?
I choose the Diamond Clan,
and I chose the Pearl Lady. So that explains it. So, yeah. So they had those alternate forms, and although I just don't think that. I don't think that a mechanic that is just for the legendaries would be enough.
Oh no, I wasn't saying it was just for the legendaries. I'm saying maybe that mechanic, like there's like a different form that they can turn into.
Right, like Mega Evolution?
I guess. Or maybe there's a way they like you can change their type. Like when they change their type.
I would love if they brought Megas back. I saw people talking about how Spain and Portugal are close to France, like they show the photo, so in the like we have had regions connected to each other before with Kanto and Johto, so maybe this region is connected to Kalos because a lot of people already Sword and Shield it references Kalos at different points, and England and France are very close, right? So while we don't directly go to Kalos, we know that the Sword and Shield is right next to it, so it would be cool if this is like an alternate thing. Is this an alternate Mega Evolution? Like they just don't want to bring it back as the same thing because they don't want to unleash that balance and have like 80 Megas in the game or something like that. Maybe it's a different version of it. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm excited to find out. The only thing I can think is this looks like the Max Revive icon.
It does.
It looks very similar to it, but like if you get a re-raise in a Pokemon battle, that seems like ridiculously busted. So I don't know. I don't think that would make sense. But when I saw this logo, the only thing I thought of was the Max Revive.
Maybe. Man, wouldn't it be a crazy mechanic if they just decided to be like, you know what, when your Pokemon dies, it's gone from your party forever, and this is like a way to get them back or something. That would be like a crazy. That would be, yeah. It would no, thank you, but that would be like an absurd mechanic that would be coming with it. I don't
know. I mean, we don't have to dwell on it because we got time. We'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah, we got time.
All right, so let's move on to the actual name of the generation. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Now, at first, when I first watched this, I had literally no idea. I'm just being completely honest. I didn't understand the connection. I was like, what is the yin and yang synergy, or like the X and Y, sword and shield, sun and moon, like
Yeah, what was
gold and
the
silver, like what's the hook
yeah.
here? And then so you explained it to me, and now it's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, so like when you look at the two colors that they picked, like Scarlet and Violet, Violet is literally known for being the lowest wavelength of visible light that a human can see, and Scarlet being part of the red colored wavelength is the highest wavelength in the visible light spectrum that humans can see. So it's kind of like going off of that. So if they were to make a middle game, what I think is green in the middle, or maybe it's yellow.
It is yellow in the middle,
So then, yeah,
which would be with the flag. The
yeah,
middle
there you
portion of
go.
that is yellow.
So like that's kind of what they're based off of, from what we're kind of gathering. It's a guess that we're. It's a guess.
Okay,
I'm not sure if it's completely right, but
now
it seems like it's
let's
a good
build
idea.
upon it. No, that's definitely the reason, because it's red, and it's literally everything's red and purple, and Scarlet and Violet, they're opposite ends, like X and Y, or sun and moon, or whatever. They're in tandem. Now let's go
Yeah.
back to the previous point, Joe. So that's about light. That's about visible light, right? There's something in the trailer, I can't remember, that showed off something with the light, because I was watching a streamer's reaction to it, and his chat was talking about, oh, they're gonna make a light type because there's something in the trailer. Now, I don't think they're adding a new type. Like, they counted out the square, like the town square that had the battle scene in it. They had like a circle, and each circle, or around the circle, had the 18 logos of each type of fire, grass, water, electric, or whatever. So they're not. I don't think they're adding a type, but if there was something in there that was showing off something light related, and you look at this crystal in the Japanese logo, like that has some light reflection in it in the game with ultraviolet and scarlet or whatever, like that's all light related. Like maybe that is the key, is something with light.
Yeah, that could be it. Maybe the light was in the middle of the circle that we weren't really paying attention to, or maybe they didn't really fully show it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Could be. Could be. That'd be cool. A light type Pokemon. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I don't. I know people like they want more typings. I think the game is fine. I think there's some things you could do with the typings. First of all, Fairy should not resist Bug. Bug is already is already the worst type out there. There's no reason it should have another. It's bad offensive resistance or whatever. But there's some things you could do with the type chart to make the balance a little better. But adding a 19th type, I really don't think does much, because like what's it going to be weak to? Like Fairy was created because Dragon was only weak to itself and Ice is an extremely uncommon type, so it needed balance. So like what would, like off the top of your head, what would you say Light is good against or weak against? Dark, right? It's good against Dark.
I think it could be good and weak against Dark.
Ooh, that would be interesting.
It would be good and weak against Dark. It would be bad again. It would be neutral against Fire. It would be bad against, or it would be good against Grass.
But that's not like that's like what, through a magnifying glass, like you'd burn it.
No, I would say it would overstimulate it. If something gets too much sun, it dies.
But but think about all the grass.
Never watered.
Think about all the grass types that have chlorophyll, though. It's like it's a central mechanic in Pokemon that grass types love the sun and love the light.
No, I know, but if you give too much light to a plant, it dies. So you're overstimulating the chlorophyll.
But in Pokemon, that doesn't really work. No, I know, but
if they love the sun and that's how they feed, and then you give them too much of it and you feed them too much of it, it could kill them.
Because it has to be intuitive. It has to be something a 5-year-old can understand. Like water puts out a fire, and grounding an electric charge and stuff like that. And using a sword, like a sword to hit a rock and it breaks the rock. It has to be something simply intuitive that I don't think a 5-year-old would know that putting too much light on grass would ruin it.
Well, it's always indicative of light being hot. So, could always go with that. But
which is just like fire. Which is another reason why I don't think they're adding another type. I think the type chart is fine.
Yeah, I don't know. Could be something crazy.
But yeah, the legendaries are definitely going to be light related in somehow, some ultraviolet light kind of
Well, maybe
thing.
maybe the light is kind of like the stance of it being like a mix of two things, like fire and what else? Fire and fairy, maybe that's what the whole thing of light is. It's both of those put together, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but then you would just make that Pokemon a fire and fairy type, right?
No, I know, but the fire and the fairy type, like maybe that's what the legendaries are going to be, fire and fairy, and they're considered to be the
Ooh,
light Pokemon. You know, that's what I was kind of trying to say,
that would be
is like
cool.
that's what
Yeah,
they're going to be based off of.
because we haven't even talked about the legendary. We haven't even thought about them, right? Because we didn't see them. So,
Yeah.
like, usually there is some type of clash between them, between the two box arts, except for Ho-Oh and Lugia. Like you had water and land with Kyogre and Groudon, and then you had space and time with Palkia and Dialga, and
Wait,
black
wasn't
and white was yin and yang with
wasn't wasn't Ho Ho fire and Lugia water?
no, it's one of the things the anime really screwed a generation of people over. Lugia is a flying psychic type, but
Gotcha.
he is the
Okay.
ruler of the seas. He talks to people in the ocean. That's why it's very
Mm-hmm.
confusing. Most people think Lugia is water flying because it probably should be, but it's psychic
There you
flying. And then so both Reshiram and Zekrom, that was dragon fire and dragon electric. That was two dragon types that hit each other. Dialga and Palkia are two dragon types. Like X and Y was fire dark. Like they're gonna be connected, and the two typings are gonna be connected in some way. And then Zamazenta and Zacian were both fairy types. So could they be fire? Like what would be purple? Ghost or psychic? What would you say is purple
Or poison.
or poison?
Because looking at it right now, poison is the very like kind of velvety color, but
Yeah,
ghost is also that is close to that color too.
because really red is only fire. That's really all we have to go
Yeah,
off
for
of.
red, for red, yeah.
So what could the other type be to hit? And now they don't necessarily need to be able to hit each other super effectively. It's just it does happen some of the generations. So yeah, I don't know. We have time to think on it though, Joe.
Yeah, we definitely have time. Well, I'm sure we'll see him eventually. Hopefully soon. That'd be real cool.
No, I don't think it's. I don't think it's gonna be soon.
Shh. Let me dream. Let me dream as I categorize my Pokemon.
How you how you doing? What's your progress?
I'm at 185 right now.
Wow, that's a lot more than me. I'll tell you that much. Who's your team? Who's your six?
My 6 right now?
Yeah, like who'd you use for most of the game?
Give me 1 second. I got to change something. And I will tell you who my team was. Let's move this guy. Um, well, I had my starter, which was I started with Rowlet, so I don't even know how to say. Is it Decidueye? Is that how you
Yep,
say?
Decidueye. Yep.
Yeah. He was in my party for like most of the game. Snorlax was in my party. Started out as Munchlax, and then I turned to Snorlax.
That is
Um,
how that goes. Yes.
well, no, that's like what I did. Like I trained one,
Yeah.
but then I caught an alpha, and then I took him instead. Um, and then I had who else did I had? I had Terraria. Is that how you say his name? The turtle.
Oh, Torterra.
Torterra. I had Scizor for a good part of the game.
Nice.
Um, I did have Gengar for a little bit, but then I kind of traded him out for Lucario when I caught Lucario. Who else? I switched my team out recently. Um, and then I had I had Vaporeon on there for a little bit, but then I got rid of him.
I'm so jealous.
And then I had now I have a Gyarados on my team. It's pretty much all of them. Yeah.
Well,
I think so.
you're having fun, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, dude. I'm having a good time being a Pokemon master.
Also, I do okay. When you watch that, well, I guess maybe because you already knew the game was coming out beforehand. When you watch the live action part of the trailer, everybody on the internet, we were all convinced because of how it started, it was Detective Pikachu 2. We didn't think it was Gen 9.
Oh yeah.
Like, if you go back and watch that, you can see, like, it kind of feels it's live action. There's, like, a guy, like, searching around for stuff. Like, we're like, oh, okay, Detective Pikachu 2. It's like, I've never been so happy to be so wrong.
Oh, I get it. I was kind of annoyed at that part, to be completely honest with you. I was like, why are they doing this? This guy's, like, really overacting his part right now. This is weird.
Yeah, he was. Just a little bit. Just a little.
He was like, I was like, dude, all right, chill out. You're good. You are walking around with a flashlight. It's okay. It's your fault anyway, because you're just walking around with a flashlight, you weirdo. But yeah, it was an interesting way to start the trailer.
Yeah, it's so weird because it's like, who's attacking him at Game Freak HQ, right? Like, it's like a map and some photos on the wall of the starters and stuff. Like, who's attacking him?
It's him. He's doing it.
But
like,
okay, you know what happens though in that is the light like absorbs it or whatever, and it goes into the video game portion of the trailer. Yeah. So we got light. This is gonna be all light related, Joe.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be light related. Like, it's kind of like all over the place. Mm-hmm. Definitely light related. Definitely light related.
I'm just so happy right now, Joe. I don't know if you can tell or not, but like I really wasn't. I was 50-50 on if it was Gen 9 would be announced today, because it has been 3 years and each generation's on a 3-year cycle. This has been how it's been for over a decade now. But because of the pandemic and everything, we didn't know what was going to happen with Arceus coming out earlier this year. You know, we don't. Like, it was very up in the air. So for them to tell us on Pokemon Day, the day of celebration of Pokemon, Joe, it was nothing more we could ask for.
Everybody was like, praise be to Pikachu. Pokemon here. You know what I mean?
I sure do, Joe. I sure do.
Yeah, there you go. You got it. You figured it out.
I say we ended on that note. Yeah,
praise be to Pikachu. Cut the podcast.
No, that was my subtle send over to you to end the podcast.
Oh no, I know. I'm ending the podcast. Praise be to Pikachu.
You have to close out like normal. I'm gonna miss it. This is my first time back in my house recording a podcast with you in over a month. All right, I want things to go back to normal.
Never going back to normal, Brown. You should know this.
True.
Well, thanks for joining us for another episode of Cup of Joe's. I've been your host, Joe Perry, and accompanied by my best friend, Joseph Brown, and we'll see you in the next episode of Cup of Joe.